Hey everybody, this is Joe from Zoyo Neighborhood Yogurt, and today I want to show you how to select and cut up a mango. Mangoes are a great snack. They're perfect on frozen yogurt. We go through so many of them here, and we thought we'd share with you a little bit of knowledge of what we learned over time of cutting up hundreds of these things. So for selection, when you approach these mangoes at the grocery store, for me, I want to go for a big one because the pit is really big. And even once I cut off that pit or cut around that pit, I still want lots of meat left for me to have. So I always go for the pretty big ones. Now, as far as color goes, you can ignore that. Color doesn't matter with these things. It doesn't show you how ripe they are, nothing. So yeah, go ahead and ignore the color. Now, as for ripeness, it's really your preference. If you pick up a mango and there's some give to it, like a peach or say an avocado, then you know it's ready to go. You can probably cut it that day, and it's kind of at the end of its perfectness, if you will. But if it's a little bit more firm, then you're going to want to take it home and leave it out, kind of like a banana, and it will ripen up just perfectly in a couple of days. Now, so that's how you select them. Let's cut this bad boy up. Okay, so now we're ready to cut into this the mango, and I've got a nice clean mango here. It's ripe. There's a little bit of give to it when I go to grab it, and I've got a nice sharp knife here to work with. The mango fruit can be slippery once you get the skin off, and so you want to make sure that you've got a nice sharp knife. Otherwise, bad things could happen. So when we go to cut this, the pit is going to run through the entire thing, and it's going to kind of show you where it is with the stem end and with this little part right here, the eye. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the stem end and just sort of cut that off. So I've got a nice firm base to put this on. You can kind of see the pit there, and I'm going to cut just a little bit off of the eye. And again, the skin is kind of tough, so there's times where I sort of poke the knife in just a little bit just to get it started. There, so now it's going to sit nice and firm on the cutting board, not rock around too much. When I go to cut the skin off, I'm basically going to cut it sort of on the four main sides, and almost like a north-south, east-west kind of thing. And again, I'm going to sort of grab my knife around the blade, my other fingers off of the blade, and just sort of get going and sort of get a big piece of this off like so, and just sort of follow around. This one's kind of light colored. It is ripe, but like I said before, there are so many different varieties of mangoes, and sometimes you'll cut into them and they'll be very sort of orange looking. This one probably has a little bit more of a mild flavor. Anyway, so now that I've got those four, now I'll just kind of follow around, and you're going to cut with the shape of the mango, and that takes a little bit of practice. It's already kind of slippery. It takes just a little bit of practice, but again, I like this way because I just don't think there's very much waste this way. And if I do see just a little bit of skin left, like so, like right here, I can just go and just take just a tiny bit off of that. I'm really trying to preserve as much fruit on the mango as possible. There. Now the next piece, so here we can see our pit. This is the really sort of challenging part. And here's the eye that we saw on the outside. This part's really important, and when I teach my employees here at the store, I'm very adamant about this. Again, so the fruit can be slippery, and it's even more slippery because I'm wearing gloves, but we're a restaurant, so I'm going to sort of go about a 1/4 inch off of the center and dig my knife in, and again, I'm sort of grabbing and keeping my fingers away from the blade and get a nice big piece of the mango there. Turn it around, again, about a 1/4 inch off the center, and dig in. So I've got 2 large chunks. I'll cut those into bite-sized pieces in just a moment. Now here, there's still more fruit to be gained here. Sometimes all of this stuff on the edges is really tough. Let's give this a shot and see if we can get some more off of here. Yeah, so there's a nice piece there. And again, I'm squeezing with pretty firm pressure to keep that thing there. This side's a little bit more, yeah, see? You got a little bit of the pit there. Let's see if I can get a little bit more. I might be able to salvage some of this, but I am sort of starting to shave the pit off there. If you really want to get pickier, if you're making a smoothie, and it doesn't really matter what goes in it, and you just want to get as much as you can off, you can kind of keep whittling away at this and get these little pieces here. But for this, I'm not going to worry about that, and this is not usable, so I'm going to toss that to the side. And then finally, I'm just going to make some slices and cut these into bite-sized pieces. I didn't mention this on the first part of the video, but mangoes are really rich in vitamin C and a good source of fiber as well. So, not to mention, just sweet as can be. That's why I really like them, and I think they go great with frozen yogurt, or they're great to add into a smoothie because they've got, they'll add a little bit of velvety texture to a smoothie, not to mention some sweetness. And there we are. Well, thanks for checking us out, and that's what I have to share about cutting a mango.